The chapter starts, and of course we see this beast get absolutely demolished, and of course Lin Mo-yu's gang of skeletons go up to jump him. We then see the people, and this guy looks to his right saying what the heck, cause somebody actually broke the record once again. These people then begin to gossip amongst each other saying, bro, it's really Lin Mo-yu again, he set a new record. And of course the guy looks to his right and he says, is this true? He says, didn't that kid just enter that dungeon? He says, nobody can ever break that record. We then see it right on our screen, guys. Alright, let's talk about this. The hell difficulty clear record is only an hour and 12 minutes, and there's not even a second place. Our boy Lin Mo-yu is just way too OP. This random side character is absolutely shocked, like of course he forgot to study for a test, the biggest exam tomorrow, and he says to himself, there's no way, that's way faster than the nightmare difficulty 5 years ago. He then says his true combat power is not something I can fathom. And of course Lin Mo-yu is just chilling looking at a panel. Anyway, we then see the side character's dialogue, and he says to himself, or the monologue, re-entering right after getting out, Lin Mo-yu really is hardworking, and it seemed like this guy got locked in the shadows. He then says to himself, it is true, Lin really is the GOAT. He mentions, let's go back and we won't be grinding this dungeon, and yup, finally our boy just learned a lesson. And yes guys, our boy Lin Mo-yu has finally leveled up. He is of course still a Necromancer, the one and only. His level is 28, Strength 740, Constitution 740, and Agility as well. And I also think one of the reasons why it takes a bit longer for him to level up is because he shares experience among his skeletons. He then looks behind him and everybody starts to come towards him. It is the Genesis College, and we find out that they rarely appear in public and every one of them are mysterious, so why are they there? We then see their equipment, and they are so good because one's wearing a sort of orange shiny ring, one's wearing a purple necklace, and somebody's wearing a green earring. These are of course the Goblin King ring, the Flame Bug necklace, and the Wind Spirit earrings, and these only drop when you're fighting a boss. We then see that they've entered the Fire Deity Palace, and they definitely came here to clear it. And we then see our boy's waifu come up and say, hey Junior Lin, but then they then turn around slowly, do a 180, and they're super shocked, especially the ones around them, because the Blazing Emperor College is here as well. Well, I thought they were gonna look like super cool, but these guys just look like side character college members. But anyway, we find out that the girl says, seems like the Blazing Emperor College and the Genesis College are facing each other, and that's why they are there. We find out that the Xiajing Academy has 3 top colleges. The first one is of course Chuangshen, second is Genesis, and third is Blazing Emperor. She mentions that Chuang's college is at the top, while the other 2 can only compete with each other to become second place. She then smiles and she says, well, they probably heard about the news of a dungeon upgrading and they wanted to compete for the record. And she says, however, both of them will probably not surpass you, and yeah, they definitely won't. Lin Mo-yu then just says as he gives him a side eye, I see. And yeah, I think our Lin Mo-yu is literally just chilling here. But of course, we then see it is the Emperor, or the Blazing Emperor College, and the guy says, hey, let's set off. And of course, we then see, oh gosh, it is the big 3 grandpas just watching from their little tea hut or their tea table, and they then mention the grandfather of Ning Yi. The Genesis College and Blazing Emperor came as expected, and it looks like this time the Blazing Emperor College is going to take the lead. He says the reason why is because their Blazing Emperor College is led by a Holy Fire. Oh guys, this is a Holy Fire Knight, that's pretty sick, and it has an extremely high resistance to fire, and of course he also has a Flame Bug ring, so there's no need to fear the fire element. But then Lord Bai then says they can't beat Chuangshen College, so they can only fight over this kind of stuff. What a shame, this time the dungeon record is dominated by that kid Lin Mo-yu, and he says they will always be the second best. But then of course guys, Ning Yi's grandfather is never informed, and he's like, wait, what the heck? That kid entered the dungeon again? And yeah, all of them are just like, what the heck? And this is a really funny panel. Anyway, we then see it's really similar to Old Bai in his youth. And yeah, this definitely is probably nostalgia for them, because they definitely caused a ruckus when they were kids, and they were probably the protagonists of their own manhwas. Anyway, we then see Bai, and he says, however, it's good to make an impact on those arrogant people. Let them realize that there will always be someone better than them, and yeah, competing for second place as a college is crazy, because you're going up against one dude. Bai then says Lin Mo-yu is going to definitely not get bullied when he enters the Genesis College. However, Ning Yi's grandpa then says, you're going to let him join the Genesis College and not the Chuangshen College? What are you thinking? Bai then mentions that Old Thing has a student, and he will definitely give all his precious resources to them. And so there's still good stuff in Genesis College, and of course he's going there. And Meng Anwen is like, really? You are such a thug. And wow, this is getting hilarious. Our MC then enters a dungeon. Oh my gosh. We find out that after leveling up, all his skeletons have been replenished. But yeah, he enters a dungeon and he says, I'm going to speedrun this once again. We then see his sort of ability stat window. He has 260 summons, 160 skeleton warriors, and 100 skeleton mages, and yeah, that's really good. He then says go like he's Sung Jin Woo this time, and look at them, all of them are already bloodlusted, and he mentioned to keep all the corpses, and they slaughter them one by one. Our MC then runs fast like he's Killua, and of course he arrives at the boss, and the boss says long time no see, and our MC says this time I've brought you gifts, little boy, and of course the guy gets absolutely furious, and our MC just hits him in the face just like that, and everybody outside, we see the bell ring again, and everybody outside gathers up to see what's in front of them. It looks like the dungeon records have been refreshed again, and I can guarantee that they're nervous because we all know what's on that screen. Everybody is in shock, and of course Lin Moyu is in new first place again with 38 minutes. This guy says, is this really for hell difficulty dungeon? This must be for like beginner version tutorial island or something. And nope. Of course we find out that it takes about 30 minutes to run from the start of the dungeon to the end, and he says don't tell me that Lin Moyu just did exactly that. Lin Moyu then says, well, as soon as he comes out, I will clear a few more times so I can reach level 30 as soon as possible. And guys, our boy Lin Moyu is only level 28, and this guy's literally he can probably take on a level 70 or 80 or something. Of course, the three grandpas then mention this kid is not really giving anyone other chances, and Meng Anwen mentions no one can really break this, but that's fine too. It's good to let those guys from the two colleges suffer a bit of defeat, because of course that's going to definitely humble them, and humility is definitely a good thing, guys, so let's try and practice it before we get humbled by Lin Moyu. A few hours later, we then see it is the Blazing Emperor College come out of the portal, and these guys are absolutely exhausted. As well, they're actually accompanied by the Genesis College. And the Holy Fire Knight then points, saying, we entered 2 minutes later, but we came out at the same time. He says the Blazing Emperor colleges win this time. Of course, the Genesis Knights then says it was because we were getting ready at the safe area. Let's see the leaderboards first. Of course, they then begin to walk forwards, and they're so cocky thinking they're going to be first, and everybody in the crowd's laughing, and they wonder why. We then look at the records and see who is in first place. We see this orange orb. Of course, they're then looking, and they're like, what the heck is this, as they see Lin Moyu in first place in 38 minutes and 25 seconds. They then say, who the heck is this guy? A level 28 solo clearing in 36 minutes? The guy from Genesis College then says, is this strength of the professional competitions champion? And by the way, why is this guy's eyes so high up? It might be the mask or whatever. Anyway, this guy then says, let's go. And of course, they are charging away, and people are laughing, saying, look at that crap. The people from the top colleges aren't even that impressive anymore. And what a way to get humbled. We then see Bai and Meng Anwen, and Bai then says, how did it go? He mentions that he's already logged on the coordinates of the Eternal Training Ground and found a relatively hidden position. And Bai then says, as expected of you, old man, you really are quick. Of course, he says, are you really planning on sending him there? You only went there after you devolved your profession twice, and that kid just reached level 30. And of course, Bai then folds his arms and he says, colleges are greenhouses which nurture fragile flowers. And he says he's stronger than most level 40 professionals right now, so there's no reason why he can't go. And yeah, that's definitely true. Anyway, Meng Anwen then says as he waves his hand, yeah, I won't interfere because he's your student, but that kid won't die for real anyways. Even if he did, it will make him face reality, so it's not a bad thing, but remember that he has the respawn talent. And also guys, what do you think? Who's stronger, Meng Anwen or Bai? And I have a feeling it's Meng Anwen. I don't know why, but maybe if Bai got absolutely angry, he'd like destroy everyone, but who knows. Bai then says, don't worry, that kid won't die, and Lin Moyu transports, and of course he levels up. He says after farming that dungeon 10 times, he finally reached level 30, and oh gosh, our boy really, how many times is our boy gonna clear the dungeon? Like, this guy really is the ultimate speedrunner. Finally guys, he is level 30, he has a Dragon Warrior King title, and all of his attributes are plus 500 with a skill cooldown of 50%, and of course his strength is 1000 plus 500, constitution plus 500, and agility 1000 plus 500, and spirit 4000 plus 3500. Of course his wife, who says, did you really level up, Lin Moyu? Please buy me dinner. Nah, I'm just kidding, our boy ain't a simp. He just says, thank you senior for recommending me this dungeon, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, she definitely helped our boy. She then mentioned, I didn't expect the dungeon to upgrade too. This is clearly all due to your hard work. And our boy with his hand he still has his hands in his pocket. He says, do you have something in mind? She then says, Junior Lin, can you sell one of your fire crystals to me? And of course he says, take it. It's free of charge. And yes guys, he took his hand out of his pocket and he just tosses it onto the hands of his senior. And of course she then says, does this guy know the value of this thing? And yup, she's absolutely frozen. And yeah, our boy just got the riz of death, or riz of life, because you know, she got rizzed up. But anyway, we then see our MC stands in front of Bai, and Bai then says, wait, you've reached level 30? Manhwa mentions you leveled up from level 27 to 30 in 2 days. You're a little harsh on yourself. And of course, we then see Bai mentioning, it's good to be harsh, the more ruthless you are to your enemies is the better. He then says, how does it feel being level 30? He mentions, I feel some changes in me, but I didn't really analyze them thoroughly before rushing here. Of course, oh my gosh guys, I'm not even gonna call him Lord Bai, let's call him the GOAT Bai, or I'm gonna call him Legendary Bai. Legendary Bai then of course brings out a lot of scroll skills on top of the table, and he gives them free of charge. But then our MC says, there's no need because I have this, and Bai just laughs. Anyway, our MC then begins to let out his aura, or consume them I guess, and he receives Skeleton Fang skill. And oh my gosh, this looks like the Minecraft in the Nether, like those bone structures, I don't know, but yeah, this looks absolutely sick. Just look at our MC. He says that it's the same type of skill as a skeleton armor, but it's from the ground. And of course, the Legend Bai then says, release it over there. And oh wow, it's literally like daggers, and he says his power is not bad. He says that the level 1 skill is almost on par with the fireball spell of a level 30 mage. Manhwa then says, if the skill is maxed out, it will become very powerful, and from your level and the number of skills you possess, you should still be able to awaken more skills, and he says to try it. Of course, our MC then tries it as we see it glowing once again, and he begins to sweat, and he wonders why did a new skill not awaken? And Lord or Legend Bai then says what's wrong. He then brings out a Thanatos scythe, where actually it appeared out of nowhere, and I wonder if his new skill is related to the scythe. It seems like it is, because he acquired a new skill, which is Summon Undead General. He says, what the heck? Why did Undead General become a new skill? There seems to be some special change in the skill. We then see the sky begin to literally rumble, and we see the trees begin to flow like crazy because tons of gusts of winds are just formulating in the sky. And Manhwa mentions this skill can affect the heavenly phenomena. And of course, Legend Bai says it's like a forbidden curse. The Undead General then arrives, and we find out that he can control skeleton warriors and mages to form a legion. He is actually a bronze gray general level 1. He has 0 out of 10 legion members. He has strength 40, agility 40, spirit 40, and constitution 200. We find out that his legion strengthening is at level 1, his legion heal is at level 1, and his military power is at level 1. And pretty much this is basically super buffs. Make sure you guys pause it if you want to read here. But look at military power. It removes all the status effects for all legion members, and it even is only effective for status effects below level 10. But when he levels up, he's gonna be being able to go up against like level 90s or something. And also, I'm gonna throw a guess there, and I'm gonna say that Legend Bai is around level 150 or maybe 200. We don't know, but that's my guess. Of course, our MC says, the Undead General became my summon. I finally have it, the skill to remove all abnormal effects and statuses. Anyway, he then says that we also got healing skills, and that's such a bonus. However, Legend Bai mentions, summon a skeleton and see its effects, and that's exactly what he does. Of course, Legend Bai then pierces it with his attack. Oh my gosh, Legend Bai is so strong, he just literally wrecked it. But then, the general then heals a skeleton and is good as new, and he then folds his arm and he even stands up. And he says its skill effects are very similar to the Legion Overlord profession, although its attributes are a little bit low, and he says you've awakened a very nice skill. Of course, Lin Mo then thanks him for the compliments, and he says it's a shame that it's not enhanced by his talent, and if he levels it up, the attributes might not be so weak. And Bai then approaches him, and he says since this kid is one of a kind, and of course, it won't be long before you can become a one-man army, but I think our MC is already a one-man army. And of course, Bai then mentions, get ready, I'll bring you to a new place to train. And of course, our MC is ready. He then says, you are too hardworking, and I will tell old Meng and Wen to give you a discount on the points required to reset a dungeon. And he then says thank you with a blank face. And yeah, these panels are really funny because I sometimes forget that our MC can sometimes be a blockhead. Anyway, our MC is in the dungeon hall, and he says that he will use this time to get the desert fruit so that he can max out his skills. He is now in the Tyrant Desert Dungeon, and long time no see. Let's go. He says the giant scorpions, but Skadoosh uses his new skill, Skeleton Fangs, and they get turned into seafood like I'm about to eat them for dinner. And of course, we then see the coconuts above him, and it seems like he doesn't even doesn't need them anymore. He then walks out of there, and we then see the pretty senior says, "Oh, you finally came out. I've been waiting for a long time." He wonders why she is looking for him. She says, "These fatigue potions are for you. They can temporarily remove the fatigue and keep you in condition." He then says, "Wait a second, a potion that eliminates fatigue? I can use this while leveling up my skills these next few days." She then leaves and says, "I won't disturb you any longer, and let's go. This girl really is a goat, and she's better than Ning Yi, who literally she didn't even give our MC anything, and wow, she's definitely way better than Ning Yi. Hey, maybe in the future though." Anyway, our MC then begins to eat the fruits again from the tree, and I really want to taste this fruit just for fun. Anyway, he's then literally just watching these skeletons destroy these crabs and such, and he's now standing, of course, with his undead general behind him and the warriors and mages beside him, and he says this should be the last time. And let's go, our MC's undead general has already made it to gold grade, and his strength, agility, and spirit is at 4,000, while his constitution is at 20,000. His legion strengthening is at level 3, as well as his legion heal, and of course his military power. And our boy also got some gold plated armor, and oh wow, this guy just looks so sick. He literally looks like Igris from, of course, Sung Jin Woo summons. Our MC mentions that this is finally the max level, and guys, this is one of the reasons why one of the things I've been waiting for. His skeletons have finally reached level 30, and yup, they are gold grade skeletons, but I wonder what they're gonna look like at diamond. We also see that he has the gold grade skeleton mages, and wow guys, their strength are out off the charts. And Lin Mo Yu is still level 30 though, but he says all my summons have reached the gold grade, and this is the strongest that he's ever been. He now has 300 summons, 190 actually warriors, 100 mages, and 10 undead generals. Yo, that is crazy. He then says it's about time to find master, and our boy Thanato Scythe is also at level 30, and wow, our boy's about to be coming different in his next fight or battle. Anyway, he then arrives, and there's literally gusts of wind forming around him because of his aura, and Legend Bai is just chilling on the table. Manhwa mentions that his aura has gotten way stronger, and of course Lin Mo Yu just bows down and says, "Master, I'm ready." He then says, "I want you to go to a place called the Eternal Trials." He says there's a lot of opportunities there, however dangers are the same. He says that there are 3 layers, the upper, the lower, and the deep layer. Every layer is connected, and they do not interfere with each other. He says that I will be bringing you to the upper layer of Eternal Trials, and professionals below level 70 are only allowed to go there. Similarly, professionals above level 70 are allowed at the lower layer. He mentions that there is a small possibility of a space tunnel appearing, and at that time the rules will be broken, and professionals at the upper layer can enter the lower layer, but only for an hour. He says that according to legends, a great war, whoa, this is cool, this is actually good. I definitely want to know about the lore. A great war erupted between humans and dragons and the abyss, and the eternal battlefield was formed during that war. He says that countless of divine items were lost in the battlefield, and their will lasted for a long time, forming various monsters, secret realms, and dungeons. But then Legend Bai then says, the dangers not only come from the ancient times, but also from the races of demons and dragon warriors, and that's scary. And of course, Legend Bai gets serious as he squints his eyes and looks at our MC directly in his face. There are even humans who fought their own kind to gain benefits. So do you understand the danger now? And our MC says with an absolute Chad look on his face like he is Batman, "I understand." Make sure to comment Eternal if you made it all the way till the end. Also, let me know down below if you guys are enjoying this series. I'm pretty sure you guys are. And also, there will be part 30 coming out tomorrow. I know you guys will enjoy that. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next recap.